Okay, good morning, all of you. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so today we are going to start Docker file. Charger. A fan gun slow lo pettu. Okay, guys, so let me share my screen. So today I'm going to discuss Docker file instructions. Okay, so what is Docker file? Okay, guess I'm audible online team. Guess I'm audible or not? Okay, so the Docker file. What is Docker file? Here, so simply by using Docker file, we can pass the instructions. We can pass the instructions. Screen, huh? Okay. Okay. So by using Docker file, we can pass the instructions. So we know the Docker pull command. By use, what about inventory task? Everyone done? Got it? How to do it? Okay. So what about AMI? So we are using AMI only, right? For copying the key also, right? Copying the key and add inventory file the private IP is clear, right? So in real time, we are doing same process. Okay. So in your resume, add that point. Okay. Work with Docker inventory configuration. Sorry, Ansible dynamic inventory configuration. Dynamic inventory that is dynamic. Okay. Whenever new instance is created, that is automatically added into the inventory file. That is the agenda. Okay. If any new instance is deleted, the inventory will not configure with the deleted one. Okay. That is a dynamic approach. Okay. So by using Docker file, we can pass the instructions. So guys, here we are working with developers. This platform, in this area, we closely work with developers. For example, developers write a code for front-end configurations or back-end configurations, whatever it is. So finally, we need to generate an image. That is our goal. Okay. That image we can give the handout to Kubernetes. Kubernetes is run the image and give the access to public if it is a public application. So we know that Docker pull command, if you give Docker pull command, it will pull the base image, right? So, but Docker file is a custom instructions. So in the Docker file, let me take an image from the Google if there is any. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So if you can see here, so we are going to plan a workshops, guys, every weekend. If you're interested, you can join there also. So we are going to plan for some demos, practical demos kind of things. That is not good. Okay, if you can see here. So Docker file, Docker image, Docker container. This is the workflow. Okay, and I'm going to add one more thing here. If you can see here, okay, Docker file, Docker image, Docker container. So on top of the Docker container, so pod will come, pod layer will come. Okay, if it is a Kubernetes. So Docker file, to write a Docker file, what we need first? To write a Docker file, yes, we need to install Docker, that's okay. After, after install Docker, so to write a Docker file, do we need anything? What? Source code. Okay, source code where we are going to deploy? Base image is required, right? So on top of the base image, you are adding your source code, you are adding your file instructions and preparing a one custom image. So to add source code in this Docker file, we needed some image, right? So in AWS, so if you are going to create an EC2 server, we have a AMI image, right? So that AMI image is a base image for to create a server. So here also the Docker image, the base image is to create a server. Just assume it like that. So that image, we can add our instructions, create a custom image. Okay. So here we need a base image, right? Docker hub. Yeah. So from the Docker hub, we need to pull a sample image. From that image, we can add our instructions. Source code. Okay. So we can add these instructions. So source code here. To host a source code, we need some image, right? That image we can pull from the Docker hub. So this image may be whatever image, it is a Ubuntu or whatever you can. So in this AWS, this is what? AMI. Understand? So once from the AMI, we can create a server and source code we need to copy into your EC2 instance, we can run. Understand? Yeah. So in the Docker file, we need to give us some instructions, how to copy the file, how to run the file, everything it is a instruction. So we have a different instructions. I'm writing here one by one. The first one is from instruction. To pull image. To pull image from Docker Hub. In the Docker file, we need to define some steps. The each step there is some instruction. There is some goal. Okay. So the very first step is from to pull image from the Docker Hub. So in that case, I'm just giving from nginx or Ubuntu, whatever. Okay. Next instruction, run. Run instruction to local execute commands. So if you want to create a directory, what is a directory? How to create a directory? mkdir, right? So in the Docker file, we need to add the run instruction, run mkdir. Understand? Run touch file. Like that, we can use the run locally executable commands. If I want to install, okay, if I want to install something, where should I mention? M or apt get, whatever. If it is Ubuntu means apt get update -y. Understand, guys? So here, so now if I want to install something, same we can add into the run command. So if you want to create directory, run mkdir, you can give the directory name. So locally executable commands, whatever it is, m install, m update, create directory, delete directory, everything will comes under run instruction. Next one is copy instruction. Copy instruction is nothing but copy the files from local to Docker. Okay. So single dot means what, guys? Double dot means? Yeah. So if I give copy dot, means we are copying entire current directory to some destination path if you want to give. For example, okay, for example, if we want to install Apache web server, the index.html should be there in var www.html, right? So we can give copy index.html and space var www.html destination. So copy instruction, Linux copy instructions, how it will work? Same. Okay. Add. Same works like copy instruction. But here there is a future. We can add here URLs also. When I say URLs, if you want to install Tomcat, we are using wget command, right? So here we can use add. The wget command we can use into the add. Okay, I mean URLs. In any URL you are going to run, we can use into the add. Okay, I mean wget command, take the copy instruct, I mean, take the tomcat URL and move into the some destination like that. Okay. But in copy commands, we cannot pass any URLs. For example, GitHub. From the GitHub, you want to take anything, we need to add to the add, not for copy command. Copy command is only work for local. It will not call from any remote locations. Okay. But add command, we can call from remote location and paste and move it into our current directories. Okay. So we can work with remote areas. And one more is work dir. Work dir same works like a cd command. Okay. I mean, if you create a mkdir test, okay, you want to go into the directory, everything. So we need to use work dir, the directory name test. So it will move into the test. Same like cd. Once you create a directory, if you can give the cd command, it will go inside, right? Same. Expose. This is port number. Okay. So here expose means default port number, guys. The default port number of application. And finally, CMD. So executable. So executable command while running the container. So guys, if you execute any command in container, so the finally, if it is a Python, if it is a Java, if it is a Node.js, whatever it is, we need to start the application, right? If it is a Python, it's Python. If it is a Python file name is app.py, run app.py. So finally, final instruction to run your image. Okay. If it is a Python, if it is a Java. So till here, guys, these commands will work while Docker build time. But the last command CMD is Docker runtime. I mean, CMD is a run your application. Okay. This is to create your image. Let me till here build an image. Build an image means application will not run. Just image build only. If you want to run that application, run the command in CMD so that application will run. How to run CMD? Whenever you run the Docker image, this command will execute inside of the container. Understand? Okay. So one more command is there. Entry point. So entry point command also same like CMD. Same container runtime only it will run. Same like CMD. So executable command in container. But here we cannot change command while executing time. While Docker runtime or. So the difference is here and there. For example, if you give any instruction as CMD, okay, while running the Docker, we can change the command also while running time. But entry point is not possible. It's a fixed one. We cannot change in the Docker runtime the command. Anyway, for this two, I'll take one special class, very, very important in interview. Okay, I will take a special class. Try to understand CMD entry pointer both are the same at this time. The difference I will explain in one class. Okay. So this is Docker image, right? For this is container. Clear? Okay. Okay. So if you want to add, you can add maintainer also here. Maintainer means who can maintain the Docker file. Not required, just leave it. These are the important one instructions. Okay, so let's go to create one Docker. RD Docker instance. Okay, running. Let's create. Connect. Okay, something issues there here. Is there any key here? Let me create one more one. Okay, so let me install. Okay, so I'm going to install Docker. Systemctl start Docker. Okay, both client and server is up and running. So if I want to pull a image, Docker pull, if you can give any image, if it is a public, if it is there in a public repository, we are able to pull. It's not private repository. Okay. It's a public repository. So guys, the first instructions how to write in a Docker file. So vi Docker file. So the D is a capital one. Okay. So we can give our custom name also, no problem, but always recommended this file only. Okay. Docker can give syntax validation if you can give this file only. If you can give any custom file, it will not give any syntax validations. Okay. The first instruction is, for example, I'm going to print a something into my Docker file. So first instruction is what? From Ubuntu, if it is a Ubuntu. I mean, I'm taking Ubuntu image. Understand? And next instruction is, if you can give maintainer, you can give. Otherwise, I'm going to give a run command. So run command is what? Local executable. So I can give apt get update -y. If it is a Ubuntu, this is the command, not mupdate -y. apt get, if you want to install anything, apt get install. So now simply I'm going to give cmd instruction. In the cmd instruction, I'm going to print echo hello. Okay, echo hello. Just I'm giving here, for example. So if I run my Docker file, how many instructions will execute? 3 or 2? What is CMD? What is CMD instruction? It does. It's a runtime. Okay. But we are not running anything now at this time. We are build an image. Build an image means it will not execute CMD instruction. Understand? This CMD instruction will run whenever you can run a Docker image. Let's come. Okay. So how to build an image? So you have some Docker file, just understanding there is a 3 instructions, whatever it is. Docker build -t. T means tag name of the image. Docker build -t. T means tag name of the image. Oh, sorry. Okay, I have changed. Sorry, yeah. It's my bad. Docker build -t. So tag name. So my tag name is my image. You can give any name. For example, test image. Test image. So now if I give dot, what is the meaning? Current directory, there is a Docker file, build that. Understand? So otherwise, if Docker file is there some other way, you can give the path here. So how to give path? First you go there, give the pwd command, it will get a path. You can give here. Understand? But always recommended Docker file should be there in the current directory, which is there in your code. Okay. If I give like this, first it will start the build the process of your Docker file. The first step is what? Pull the image. Next step is what? apt get update. It is going to update the thing. Then where is the third instruction here? See, if you can see, I'm able to see two instructions only. The first instruction is come here. Yeah, if you can see, the first instruction is pull the image. So next is 2 by 2. First is 1 by 2. Out of two instructions, the first instruction is pull the image. And second instruction 2 by 2. Update your Ubuntu. Is this clear? Then where is the cmd command? Understand here. Where is the cmd command here? After creation of container, not after creation of container, while creating of container. If you are creating a container means what? You are running your application. You're running your application to give you access to public. So there is a Python code in your laptop, guys. So for example, in my local laptop, Python code is there. If I run only, it will execute, right? Understand? How to run Python space your app.py. If it is a file name is app. Same thing. If it is a Python application, I need to give it the cmd instructions. It will run application until and that just build an image. So now, can I see? Am I able to see Docker PS now? No. Why? Image is built only. Whenever you run the image, you can see the Docker PS command. Understand? Okay. So how to run image? Docker run -dt, just run the image. I'm not going to give you access to anywhere. This is just normal one only, right? So before that, I need to check my image. Docker images. Test. Okay. So Docker run -dt, detach terminal. And next, give your image name, test. If you want to give access, you can give -p, but there is no any web server and anything here, right? To give the access. Run. Okay. So if you can give here, it will print hello. I mean, what we can understand, just I'm running the same without detach terminal to print something. So whatever instruction I have given, this instruction is there in your container. Now your container is running with this application. Just my output is what? Print hello. That's it. Understand? So when it will execute the cmd instruction, whenever you run your image. Understand? So let's go to, let me show something to you here in my projects. Okay, if you can see this Docker file. Okay, if you can see this Docker file, you can easily understand. First one is what? Python image is required. Otherwise what we can do? Exactly. Take Ubuntu image, install Python by using run instruction. Python image will create, right? That Python image, you can add these instructions, you can run it. Understand, guys? But okay, but I need only that Python image. I don't want any Ubuntu on top of that create install. Already Python image is available, right? I can take directly from that instead of creating Ubuntu on top of that. But this Python image maintained by Ubuntu. That Ubuntu is taking care of it Docker providers. Understand? This when this image will come, if you take some, if you give some instruction on top of the Ubuntu or CentOS, whatever the base image, Python image will come. Understand? Otherwise, take directly Python image that is available. Same thing, Jenkins. If you need a Jenkins, you need to install EC2 server. On top of that, you can install the Jenkins instructions. You can able to see the Jenkins, right? Or in the Docker format, take Ubuntu base image of the CentOS or something, install your Jenkins instructions, make it one image. Or you can take directly Jenkins image. These many options we have. So now, if you can see, as I said, maintainer, right? Who can maintain this image? You can give your email ID name. And if you can see here, copy dot /app. What is the meaning here? Yeah, if you can see here my instruction is there. Here there is a, so I'm going to copy my source code into app directory. Okay. And work directory means what? CD, go there. And run means what? Local executable commands. Pip install -r requirement.txt. Sir, what is requirements here? Same thing, pom.xml. We are going to add our instructions, right? Dependencies. So in the Python, there is a mvn command in the Java, but in the Python, pip install. Pip is a install all dependencies. But where is the dependencies? In the requirement.txt. mvn install. It will download all the dependencies from pom.xml. Pip install requirement.txt. Here we can understand requirement.txt is work like a pom.xml in the Python. Is this clear? So now if you can see here, you can easily understand entry point and CMD the difference. Okay, anyway, these two, when it will execute? Runtime only, right? Runtime only. But these 5 instructions will execute by build time. I mean, this 2 will build, 7 will build, but execute this 2 only for runtime. Understand, guys? This 7 will build, create an image. That image, if you run, this 2 will execute. Understand? This 5 will not execute in the runtime. Already it is execute locally. Clear the difference? Now, if you can see, guys, which one we can change in the future? 6th, 7 commands. 6th command is Python. 7th command is app.py. If you want to, if you get any changes, CMD will change or entry point will change? Understand? What is entry point? I told you here. Entry point same like CMD, but here we cannot change command while Docker runtime. Okay. Here we can change the changes. If you can see, guys, you just say that here. Very good. Can you change Python to Java? Understand? This is Python code, right? Definitely you need to run Python, your file name. Python, your file name. Python is common here. Why? It's a Python code. How to run Python code? Give Python and file name. How to run Terraform init? Terraform and whatever init command. So Python code also we can execute by Python and file name. So here always Python will be there, right? Whatever, for example, app.py, there is a file inside code will be there. You can change instead of app.py, you can change test.py also, no problem. If you have a multiple files in your end, you can pass in the CMD test.py, app.py, whatever it is name.py. But it should be executable in the Python environment. So entry point is Python. If I give Java, for example, it will not run this one. In the Java app.py, is it executable? No, right? .py is a Python file. So entry point, if you want to make it as a fixed component here, we can use in the entry point. Or we can use sometimes, not sometimes, you can use without entry point also, you just give Python space app.py. It will run CMD also. Just for difference to know that I'm just writing this file. Understand? Anyway, I'm going to more focus on the Docker file tomorrow. So here just we can understand the small instructions. Yes, it's just like a user data. Okay, just like a shell script, execute by one. But here we need to, here the only changes. If you know these 7 instructions, that enough for Docker file. Understand the instructions, how from will work, how entry point will work, how run will work. See here, you tell me guys, this copy dot forward slash app work directly. Who can give? Developer only, right? So where is your code? From where to where I copy? So if they say this is my code, you need to copy from here to here. You need to run from, if you can take instructions, as per instructions, you can give your Docker commands here. Copy required, you can use the copy instructions. In installation required, yes, at the time I need some installations. You can take from there, give the run command to install something. Understand here? So for example, developer is saying that you don't know Python, right? For example, you don't know Python, but you just understand these steps. Any Python code, this is common. Docker file is common. Understand? If you can see my requirement.txt, Flask is there. This is a Python Flask framework application. So I need a Flask. So I have given where it is in the Docker file pip install -r requirement.txt. In the requirement.txt, we can add required dependencies, Flask, whatever it is. So it will run and install all dependencies before. That's what after Python will run. To execute this instruction, we need a Flask. This is Flask application. Just understand. A small Flask application. To run Flask, you need a Flask, right? Python Flask. We are installing here by using pip command. So in Python, if you want to install anything, we need a pip. Pip is a helping here to install anything to Python. Understand? For example, guys, here requirement.txt is there, right? In the requirement.txt, if you can see, only Flask will be there. There is no multiple argument here. So instead of using requirement.txt, I can add pip install Flask directly. Understand? Yeah. Anyway, my plan is to here tomorrow, I will take one how to run a Python code, how to run a Node.js code, how to run a Spring Boot code in my EC2 instance first. What are the commands I'm using here? The same commands I'm applying in the Docker file. Understand? There is no much difference. Whatever commands you are giving in the EC2 instances, those commands we can give the Docker instructions. Clear? Yeah. Okay. So guys, now if you can see Docker images. So my end, there is a test image. Okay, there is a test image. So now I'm going to explain here how to push this image into your repositories. We cannot push into the public repository, right? That is maintained by Docker providers. If everyone can push, means every day they are getting so many images for the different versions. It will work or not, we don't know. So if you can see, I can push this image into 2 areas. The first is ECR. How to push image into ECR. So Docker file, just we got the point, right? How to create a Docker file. But I'm saying that we'll continue Docker file tomorrow. The next one is, but we got some image, right? How to push this image, we can learn first. Then we can more focus on the Docker file tomorrow. Okay. So meanwhile, just we can go through these instructions. What is from instruction, run instruction, work directory and all. Okay. Okay. If you can see here, so I'm going to push this image into ECR. So what is ECR here? So guys, what is ECR here? They are chargeable. Everything is chargeable. Come here. So now here, if you can observe this container part we can discuss in the Kubernetes. Okay. So even though we can run the image and we can check the container also, but in real time, this will taken care by Kubernetes. So after run the container, we should not push the any image, right? Image will push whenever you build. Understand? So here my image is there. Here, push your image into some ECR or private hub repository. But we can use JFrog or Nexus also here to push your image. But these are not free tier, chargeable. These are Docker private registry. Okay, let me explain first ECR. So ECR is a elastic container registry, guys. It's a very high available. It's a cloud providers, right? AWS ECR. From instruction is nothing but Docker pull. Understand? So if you want to pull an image, Docker pull. But in the Docker file, from we need to use. From means it will pull that image. This is what Ubuntu. You have a Docker installed in your server, right? So it will automatically connect your remote repository. How it will communicate? There is a Docker server running in your end, right? So the Docker server will communicate with the remote repository of the public remote repository. It will pull the image of Ubuntu. The Docker file instructions, we should not use the Docker pull. We can use the from. Okay. So first we can understand what is ECR. ECR is a elastic container registry. For example, in your project is in AWS, definitely we can use ECR. Okay. To store our images. If it is a Azure private registry. If it is a GCP private registry. Okay. If the project is in GCP, we can use the GCP private registry. If the project in Azure private registry. If it is AWS, Elastic private registry. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to create AWS ECR first. You can use S3 to store also, but to call to push, it's not like a ECR. Okay. So there is a different process, guys. ECR is a S3 is there, but we can use. So let's go. Okay. I think, okay, let me check once. Let me check this first. I'm able to create or not, then we can. Okay, I don't have permission to create ECR. So what I'm going to do, okay. So let's go to create a private registry of Docker. Docker sign up. So create your account. So guys, only 3 steps: email ID, username, password, and create a Docker account. So private Docker hub, in your private Docker hub. So whenever you can sign in after sign up, it is redirecting into Docker page like this. Okay. This is private repository of Docker. This is not easier. Okay. So these are my images I push here. So before that, you need to do one thing. Come to your EC2 instance again. So you need to log in your Docker from here. Understand? You need to log in from here, the Docker. The command is Docker login. So I just updated everything. Yeah. Okay. Image push. Okay. So how to push to ECR, how to push to Docker private registry. So the first step is Docker login first and tag the image and push the image. That's it. Okay. So let's go first. Docker login. So it will ask username, whatever username you have given while creating time of your Docker creation, Docker Hub creation. You just give your name. So, and it will ask password. Login succeeded. Okay. So that you can able to, so I can able to communicate my Docker private registry. So if you can see Docker images, there is a test. So now I need to tag this image. I need to tag this image and push it into my private repository. So how to tag Docker, tag, image, and your username and image. Okay. So Docker tag, my image name is test, right? And give your username and again the same image. So Docker tag, test, and again username slash tag. Sorry, test. It's a tagged. If you can see Docker images now, see, this is tagged with my username, this image. It will not override. It will just tag one more image like this. So next we can give the Docker push the same tag name. See, Docker push, same tag name. You need to give this or here. Understand? Done. Now you can come here, my Docker Hub repository. So just refresh here. See, image is pushed here. How to pull? Docker pull same. Whatever you can give push the command, same you can give the pull command. See, if you can give pull, it will come. For example, my end already some images are there, right? So this one I'm going to pull. Okay. This is push command you are getting anyway. I'm going to give this by using pull command. Okay. So here, what we can understand, sir, what is tag name here? The tag name here, just give Docker images here. Okay. Nginx also there now. So what we can understand, what is tag here? Tag is a version updates. For example, this image is the test. This image is the test. So this image, maybe developers update some changes in your source code. Again, you need to build image. Again, you need to create image, right? So at that time, you need to give tags every time. Docker build -t, Docker build -t, your image name, right? Following by some version tag. V1, V2, V3, V4, like that. You can push it into your ECR or private repository. Version means image name will not change. Here it will update the tag name. V1 version, V2 version, V3 version, V4 version, like that. You need to update your tag. Understand? So that it will not overwrite your existing one. That one also there, and updated versions also available. Understand? Yeah. So this is the process to push your image to private Docker Hub. This is my private Docker Hub. If you can click on explore, you can see public images also from there directly. So first you need to create today's task is you need to create a first Docker file, and next push that image into private registry and push image into ECR. I will show you now ECR how to push it. Anyway, ECR access is not there. So I'm going to log in now. Very important concept, guys. So first we can learn, then how to automate this entire process, we can think later. Okay. So we can automate this process by using, how to automate this process? Using Jenkins only. My account also suspended, guys. So I'm having very good friends. If I ask anything, they will ready to give. So you also please maintain that repo. Don't ask credit cards, debit cards. So create one account. I will send a one link to you. If you ask debit card, credit card, they may fear that, like, it is going to auto debit every month like that. It is not like that. Okay. Again, I'm installing Docker. So tomorrow enter class dedicated on Docker files. So be ready for the instructions, understand how it will work. So we can. What is the command to install? Sudo install. Yes, if you remember, if you understand or not, my EC2 is Amazon Linux, but I'm running Ubuntu instructions. Understand? There is no depends on your host mission OS. Once again, I'm saying that. Otherwise, Ubuntu commands will not work if it is a dependence on OS. Understand? I'm taking OS image as a Ubuntu image. So it is running on my. Okay, what is the next step? Hmm? Okay. User mod -a g docker EC2-user to run Docker commands in EC2 user. That's it only. Okay. Next, it's not group. What is that? The whatever changes you have in the Docker to apply immediately. This is a command. If you can check in Google also. new grp command. Use it to change current group ID during login sessions. So environment will have login, otherwise current environment include current working directory remains unchanged. Okay. So if you can use any group into add any users to apply immediately, we are using this command. Okay. Sometimes it will work, even not add, sometimes it will not work. So better to use to add that. Next, systemctl start docker. Okay, sudo right again. So now you can use the docker command directly. Version spelling wrong. Okay, client and server is, see, if server is not up here, not up and running means you are unable to communicate your Docker hub. Understand? So Docker demo and architecture already discussed in the day one. So just to go through it once. So now guys, yeah. Okay, why can't we do that here directly? Okay, install git-y. Okay, so I'm going to clone the Python repo. Just run it here. We can do cloning also by using Dockerfile. That one also we can. We'll go a little advanced tomorrow. Don't worry. What about GitLab? Any update on that? Hmm? GitLab. Sir, Git is fine, sir. Again, why GitLab? Huh? You guys are full busy, huh? Hmm? If you learn GitLab, I will show you how to run pipeline GitLab itself, not require Jenkins. One more approach. Okay, just understand GitLab is very easy, like a Git. So everything is looks like same GitLab. There is no difference. If you can start, you can easily understand. Going to office these days. Okay, I'm also going to office, right? Hmm. I'm also going to office. I'm preparing documents, preparing projects. I'm handling 3 projects, 2 Azure, 1 AWS. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so Docker Python Flask project. Once again, I'm saying is I'm not explaining any Flask here. Don't confuse here. This is just Docker file. Okay. This application will give by developers. So if you ask me to, sir, can you explain this one? I can explain. This is small code only. If you ask me to, there is a big course will come. It's a 500 lines. If you ask me to explain, I too don't know. Okay. So this process they will give developers. Developers will give, this is my code, this is my dependencies. You can start the deployment. So we can start. First, we can understand, okay, this is Python source code. We need to write a Docker file. How to write a Docker file? What are the dependencies is there? Just check with your developer, write a Docker file. Anyway, everywhere the Docker file is look like same, but some changes will come. That we can chart out in 1 hour only or one day. Once Docker file is ready, next we can go with your flow. Generate image, push to ECR, deploy in Kubernetes, and then understand. Yeah. But here the changes will come. Just understand, guys, the DevOps engineer, here the changes will come. The source code is Python, Node.js, Java, whatever. The Docker file only changes will come. Once you generate an image, the process is same. Any source code it is. Understand? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's go here. So I'm in the Docker Python Flask project, right? Just go there in the project. There is a Docker file, right? So how to run this Docker file? Docker build -t tag name. You can give tag name, any tag name. So demo image. Okay. Here, single dot or double dot? Current directory only, right? Oh, it looks like taking much time. Still we are in one. See, if you can see, my Docker file contains 6 instructions, but it is taking only 4 only. See, out of 4, first one is going on. The last 2 is execute whenever you can run that image. Okay. Now installing Flask. Done. Okay. Demo tag is latest. So now I want to push this image into easier. Private register already done. What is how to push this private register quickly? First, what I need to do? Docker login. One more time, just for revision for you. Okay. Just give your username and just give password. Login succeeded. Now you can. Next step is what? Docker tag demo. So give your username / demo. If you want to give, you can give. Understand? So Docker images. So this one is already latest is there. Now Docker push. Okay, this process we know, right? So let's go to ECR now. Meanwhile, guys, here we need to understand one thing. This is very simple process. ECR is very simple process. So first we need to create a private repository. So the private repository, here we need to create the image name. I will tell you why. If my image name is what? Demo, right? If I create my private repository on the name of demo, this repository contains only demo image only. If you require one more repository, you can create one more repository. In this demo, you can see all the versions of the images. Understand? First push, second push, third push, fourth push, everything we can see in this repository only. We should not maintain different images in same repository. Understand? So this is one project, right? One image means one project. So we should not push same other project image into the same repository. That is not correct, right? Yeah, understand. Why image name? I will tell you here. So, okay, I'm just creating not public, private one, creating a repository. Only 2 steps. First, select private, easier and private and give the your image name as a repository name. Create repository. I have created repository. If you can see here, this is my demo. Now here we can see list of all versions. Next time, second time, third time, fourth time. This repository is related to this project. That's it, clear? So this is not a central repository to maintain all images, all different images. This is your project related repository. If you want to create one more repository, you can create next project. Understand? Yeah, this is point 1. Now, so we need to follow some instructions to push the image into ECR. That instructions already they will give. So if you click on this demo, view push commands, click on this, see, you just follow these 4 instructions into your EC2 instance. Understand? The first instruction is what, guys? Login, same like Docker login. The second instruction is what? Build. but already we build, right? Understand why they're saying again build? They understand the process we start now, but we already build the image. If you can see here, after build the image, they're asking us to run this tag command. Tagging again, same. The tagging, if you can see, demo is coming here, right? Already coming again, already coming everything. So you just copy paste and run it. Why? You are giving same image name as a repository. Otherwise, what you need to do, you need to change here. You need to change here. You need to change here. I will show you. For example, I'm going to create one more repository. So for example, I'm creating project one. My name is project one repository. If you create a repository, if you can see, this is project one repository. If you click here, if you go for a view push commands, everything will be project one, project one, project one. So your image is what? Demo. Otherwise, you need to copy each command and change this one to demo, change this one to demo, change this one to demo. Instead of doing that, give your image name directly. You can copy paste those commands. No need to change. That's what I have given. Anyway, I'll just remove this. Okay, view push commands. Now go to one by one and run it. But you need to understand one more thing. So to do this task, we need to do some changes in my EC2 instance. What is that? Understand? Very good. I need to create a role and attach to EC2 instance, right? This is different service. My EC2 is going to communicate with ECR. Understand here? My EC2 will communicate with S3. My EC2 will communicate with Lambda. Whatever, we need to create a role and attach to EC2 instance. Otherwise, it will not communicate. Different services will come in the time you have to add the role first of all. Otherwise, it will not communicate. Very good, Ramesh. So let's go to create a role first. You tell me, guys, how to create a role now? What I need to select here? My EC2 is going to communicate ECR. Okay. And then next, here I can give, I'm giving just administrator access. Otherwise, you can give ECR full access also, no problem. Okay. Okay. Elastic EC2 container registry. No. Yeah. Amazon EC2 container registry full access. Otherwise, give simply. My role name is what? EC2 to ECR. Create role. Yes, please ask, sir, why again creating a role? How do we discuss many times, right? So these are all prerequisite, guys. We need to understand first. If you don't know, we need to create a role. You will keep on struggle to rectify the issue. We are always focused on ECR and EC2, but main thing is role, right? That many people forget that. So that you need to sit with that for one day to rectify the issue. Modify M role. EC2 ECR, update M role. Okay, this is done, right? We can configure by giving root keys. We are already in the root, right? So which process is good? Configure keys or role? Keys means secret key access key. We have a role, right? If you are handling this process from the outside, it's not in EC2, it's in your laptop. Role will not work. Definitely you need to configure access key secret key. That already discussed, right? Okay, let's come to ECR now. The commands we can run one by one. The first command is what? Login command. By using CLI. You know CLI, right? Command line interface. By using CLI, I'm going to log in my ECR, authenticate my ECR. Let's come and go give this here. Login succeeded. Same like private registry. Understand? The next one. Docker build -t demo. Do I need to build it? Already built. Demo image already there. Just leave this one. Just leave this one. Next, we need to tag this one. Tagging done, right? After tagging, what you need to do? Push to easier. That's it only, right? Same private registry. So try to come offline, guys, online team. Okay. The reason is definitely if you're able to handle, I don't have any problem. But offline compared to online, you will get bit clarity. Okay. The coming classes are little tricky topics, important topics. So here we can prove like a DevOps engineers. Okay. The reason is developers will enter Git, they will enter in Dockerfile. So few things they can enter into your core subjects, but they cannot enter into that Kubernetes, Terraform. They don't know how to do that. So here you need to prove yourself. Otherwise developers will come into your area. Understand what I'm trying to say here? So you need to prove your core areas, Kubernetes, Terraform, Jenkins. If you can say Git they know also. Understand? So, but they don't know Kubernetes. They don't know Docker. Docker file they know. Everyone can understand easily Docker file, right? But the inside, the containers and the access and all, they don't know. Kubernetes, 0% knowledge for the developers. So here you need to prove. Cloud else. I'm saying 0% means if they learn, they will get a knowledge. But if they learn only developer related issues, they don't know how to handle the Kubernetes. I'm not commenting on any developers. Here also so many things are there. Guys, don't understand like that, okay? Next month, planning for offline. Next month, we are supposed to close next. Come to like mentor here. Okay, guys. So okay, push it right. Let's go and check here. So try to come offline. I know many people are stick on online, but better to come offline. Okay, click on this. See, this image is pushed here. Okay, so repository. This is my repository inside latest image. Okay, let's go there. We are already running out of time. So Docker push here. Yeah. Why I'm unable to push? I'm trying to push demo v1, right? I'm unable to push why? Understand? My end is only demo image is there. There is no demo or colon v1. Understand the issue? So we need to create the image. When image will create like Docker build time. If any version will come, Docker build new version. That image will create. Now you can push it here. Understand, guys? So this is easier. Let me terminate. Any questions? Yes, are you able to understand or not? No problem, guys. If you have any challenges, do let me know so that, yeah, tag command is required. Yes. Online team, is there any challenges? Docker is a little bit confusing. Yeah, you need to practice it. That's it. Anyway, the coming classes, the 2, 3, 4 classes is there on the Docker. You will clear your confusions. Okay, so why I'm asking this question, if you say now, we can think what we can do best. If you say after complete Docker, that is very difficult for me. So that's what. Anyway, so I'm going to give some tasks to today. So you can do that. Okay. So yes, you can take it just base doc. You can write a Docker file base Docker file, and you can push image into your Docker private registry and easier. Okay. So if you want to do practice, you can take my repository here for the Docker file just for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to write and everything. So let's go to Telegram chat. Okay. So run this Docker file and push it into your ECR and all. And by the way, my image is right. Terminated. Huh? My image is there, right? I can run it, right? I can run it. I can give access. So Python Flask will run on 3000 port number. So I can enable 3000. You can do it, okay? You can enable 3000 port number. 3000 is a default port number. So you have to give localhost anything, 3001 or 3002. You can try to access your application, the Python Flask application. And before that, you need to enable your security groups 3000. Okay? Yes, cool. Chalo guys, bye.